Greetings, Indie Warriors, and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games. It's Monday, so you know what time it is. Yeah, it's time to go over all the major indie game releases that you can look forward to for the week of August 5th through the 9th of 2024. My name is Old Gamer Joe, lover of indies and player of games since I was old enough to hold the controller. And if you love independent content as much as we do here at I Dream of Indie Games, please consider pressing that big old like button on the video and subscribing to the channel. We also have a Patreon over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, and we live stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at Twitch. Thank you so much for all you do for indies. Alright, first up this week we have Fields of Mistria, which is entering early access on the 5th. Coming to us from NPC Studio, this is yet another cozy life sim with farming elements. Taking place in the village of Mistria, no shock there, you'll need to rebuild a once prosperous town after it was devastated by an earthquake. Players will be able to customize characters, fall in love, and even get married. Take a break from the romance for a while and breed or raise animals, and even learn magical abilities. As I have mentioned before, this is not my usual genre of choice, but there's no denying the popularity of these games. So if you're hankering for more coziness to cuddle with, Fields of Mistria might be a nice little blanket for you to wear. Next on our list is an anti-gravity racer called Aero GPX, launching on the 6th. I don't know about you, but I used to love the Wipeout series back in the good old PS1 days. Comment below if you have any fond memories of Wipeout. I know at least one of you out there had a PlayStation Link cable for games like that. Maybe? I'm also getting some F-Zero vibes from this one, no surprise given the blazing fast speeds the game seems to offer. Anyways, Aero GPX also promises combat, tight mechanics, and plenty of airborne spins and twists. While races start out with 30 participants, you'll be lucky to see even half of them at the finish line. Race on over and add this one to your wish list if it looks interesting to you. A game that only requires a single button. I think I can handle that. Not so fast though, as One Button Bosses looks to serve up some serious challenges. Survive bosses if you dare in either a 4-hour campaign mode or the more addicting and replayable roguelike mode. The story mode will offer 50 levels with a focus on workers' rights. Dodge through enemy fire using a single button of your choosing. But if Parappa the Rapper taught us anything, it's that we should never get cocky because it's gonna get rocky. This unique looking indie comes to us from Midnight Munchies and Outer Sloth, and I look forward to seeing how it actually plays, you know, with the whole one button thing going on. So we talked about Wipeout on the PS1 earlier, but how about an old school early 90s title for you Sega fans called Virtua Racing, eh? Does that ring any bells? That's the game our next release reminds me of a bit, SPGP, or Super Polygon Grand Prix. While I was never much for racing sims, I've always enjoyed an arcade-style approach to racing games. SPGP will start out in early access, but the developer has a full roadmap laid out over on their Steam page. You'll travel everywhere from London to the good old USA, with the promise of 48 different tracks and high-speed action. race in teams, and take down 29 other wannabe champions. We know who will be hoisting that trophy at the end of the race. It's gonna be you. Something a little darker is next, and I guess Halloween has started early here too, because I've already been in a Spirit Halloween store, and it's only August. I'm all for early Halloween though. If you're looking for an atmospheric spooker to play before Silent Hill 2 Remake and all the other spooky October games drop, perhaps the gorgeous looking Candlelight Lament will satisfy your cravings. Just don't expect many jump scares here, as the game is more about atmosphere and exploration as opposed to blood and guts. Seek out your missing granddaughter if you dare as you wander a chilling black and white world of hopelessness and despair. Also available on the 6th from Gamera Games. Perhaps you are looking for a bit more of a challenge out of your next indie release. Well, Volgarr the Viking II might be just what the doctor ordered. Taking place years after the original game, Volgarr the Viking II is a 2D precision platformer with a brutally difficult learning curve. Going for old-school arcade levels of difficulty, the game, which is heavily influenced by Norse mythology, will break your spirits and then laugh in your face about it. Prepare to die over and over again as you battle skeletons, demonic trees, and even pirates in this vicious adventure that only the bravest of gamers will be able to survive. From everything I've heard about the original, it was savagely difficult, so knowing this will be at least that challenging has kind of scared me away. But for you masochists out there, good luck. A gorgeous action-adventure title with a creature collecting concept launches on the 7th. Creatures of Ava comes to us from Inverge Studios and 11-Bit Studios and bills itself as a creature saver, featuring a positive message in hopes of inspiring players. The gorgeous visuals and set pieces immediately caught my attention in this one. You play as Vic, exploring 4 different ecosystems across the planet Ava. There are more than 20 creatures to tame, with the game world being quite free to explore. Combat seems to place a heavy reliance on using your staff to capture and tame foes. This one's going to be available on PC and Xbox. If you're seeking a Metroidvania to play this week, perhaps Skelethrone, the Chronicles of Ericona will scratch that itch. Okay, so the name doesn't roll off the tongue, but the game is inspired by Castlevania and Dark Souls. See? Now I have your attention. Take control of Derek and gain upgrades, new combat abilities, and so much more. Take down massive bosses and explore a fully non-linear world to your heart's content. Of course, there are plenty of secrets to discover and multiple endings too. It's a Metroidvania title, so you probably have a good idea of what you're getting into. We'll just have to see how the game actually plays. We know y'all have been excited for this one. The 3rd game in the Cat Quest series is coming on the 8th to PC and all major consoles. Take to the seas, exploring a vast 2.5D world battling the pirates in Cat Quest 3. This action RPG series is always so much dang fun, and the 3rd game looks every bit as good as the previous 2. Plus, who doesn't love an awesome pirate theme, right? The game is playable locally with a co-op partner too, which is something I feel like more games need to do. So hats off to the devs. Hats off to the devs. I know I can't wait to get my paws on this one as a huge fan of the series.
Bring a matey with ya to join the action in local co-op. Equip any short-range or long-range weapon, and use weapon swapping to create frighteningly fast combos. Become the fiercest kitty in the 7 seas. And what would a pirate be without your very own ship? Sail the refreshing waters and zip ashore to explore the land on par in a flash. A bounty is on your head, and pirates from across the tides will try and take down your ship. Swiftly dodge and shoot them with your cannons. The Meowstries of the North Star treasure await ya, brave privateer. So weigh an anchor and set sail for Catventure in Cat Quest 3! Ha ha ha!
Let me out! That's what I say whenever I'm stuck in line at the DMV. But of course, getting out of line would just mean having to be there longer. Anyways, Let Me Out is a psychological horror title, meaning Halloween in August is very real. It's still real to me, damn it. Whatever happened to that guy anyways? Shout out if you get that reference. Let Me Out is one indie adventure that looks extremely depressing and dark, so make sure you're in the right headspace before checking out this one on the 8th. I'm not much for gambling in real life. The handful of times I bought scratch tickets or played a slot machine always ended in my money magically evaporating. But I damn sure will gamble fake money in video games. Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers is heading to Steam, perhaps trying to bottle a little bit of that Balatro energy. Take down gambling addicts in this strategy roguelike deck builder. The rules seem to loosely follow blackjack, but maybe not how you remember playing it. Expect 250 cards total and 60 opponents to defeat. Take a gamble on this one launching on the 8th if you like card games. I tend to like mini things. I own an SNES Classic, that's kinda mini. I liked Minnie Mouse as a kid, I guess. Minivans are cool too, kind of. Oh, mini M&Ms, those were the shit. Do they still make those? Anyways, Mini Settlers just might get added to that list. This little indie city builder will be entering early access and will have you creating the city of your dreams in no time. That means taking care of everything? Yeah, everything. What did you think? You could just sit back and let the game play itself? Build roads, create connections, and inhabit islands. You'll be competing against other players too, no pressure. Souls fans, are you tired of getting the Dollar General version of a Souls experience time and time again? Can Deathbound be the next Souls game of your dreams? Well, maybe so. It has an interesting concept at least, as you can switch between characters on the fly. They're calling it a party-based game, but single player? What madness is this? Explore treacherous areas, mowing down demons as you morph between different forms. Will this 4-player party system come together to make for an awesome experience? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Whoa, a game on this list that we already have a review for, so be sure to check that out. SteamWorld Heist 2 is launching on all major platforms this week. Expect more of the great tactical 2D combat from the original, with a lovely visual style, amazing soundtrack, and even submarine battles. You sunk my battleship! Something like that anyways. A bit of a spoiler for the review, but this game is friggin' awesome and you don't want to miss it.
choose a life of undelightment. If I wake up, it'll be waiting there for me.
In a world where video game names only seem to get stranger, VLADiK BRUTAL will also be releasing this week. This violent-looking FPS has a tense atmosphere and will feature 12 different weapons, an entirely original story, and the self-described brutal damage system. Taking place in East Europe, you're tasked with overthrowing a dictator, so sharpen up those FPS skills and get ready to deliver swift and brutal justice. Emphasis on the brutal. Something's in the water this week because we have another racing game on this list, and it's gonna be free to play. Oh, and it has a silly title too. JDM, Rise of the Scorpion. Yes, a free prologue will place you in the shoes of Hattori Hasashi, one of the greatest racers known to man. Expect lots of drifting in this one, and some beautiful stylized cutscenes. The weather will also play a factor in how your car performs, so be sure to buckle up and stay safe out there. Another early access release will be Preserve. This is a nice little nature puzzler to unwind with. Maybe pour yourself a drink, relax after a hard week's work, and get to the solving. Make the lands flourish through various game modes, which include a creative mode and photo mode where you can become the photographer you always dreamed of. It is a very beautiful looking game, so don't feel left out this week, puzzle gaming fans. It looks fun and it's pretty. I didn't forget ya, alright? Reality TV, the older I get, the more I kinda get into it, even though I know most of it is total BS. But I've never thought of a reality TV style video game before, so leave it to Nerial and Devolver Digital to do just that. This is The Crush House, which puts you in charge of filming a late 90s reality show and uncovering secrets, watching relationships blossom, and then probably seeing them wither away. Are there any examples of a reality TV relationship lasting? Maybe, but I don't recall one. You'll even be in charge of the commercial breaks, and if you want to stir up a little bit of trouble, just imagine what you might be able to do when the cameras aren't rolling. That's it, folks. Thank you as always for supporting independent content, and enjoy these new releases.
Do not miss this week in The Crush House! There will never be anything like it ever again!